Hello everybody, welcome back to the LMC channel. I'm your host Liam, and big name brands, we see them all the time. Every place, town, and city. Companies such as McDonald's, Walmart, and Amazon are so well ingrained in our minds that it's hard to imagine a life without them. But what if these places shut down all of a sudden? Now, that's not to say places like McDonald's will shut down anytime soon, but there were a lot of companies back in the day that were considered really big and were meant to stay for the long run, but have since faded away. What happened to these places? Well, that's what I'm about to tell you today. Today, I'm going to tell you about these fallen giants. So gather around everyone, because if you want to start a business, you might want to learn from the mistakes from these companies. One of the most well-known places that went out of business was Blockbuster. Blockbuster was a company that allowed you to rent movies for a fee and then go home to watch them. You see, when movies were first released on home media, movie studios charged up to $100 just for one film. This caused movie rental stores to start popping up, one of them being Blockbuster. Starting in 1985, Blockbuster quickly became the #1 rental movie store in America. Because of their family-friendly attitude and low prices. They became one of the biggest brands of the late 80s and 90s, reaching their peak in 2004. In fact, in 2000, Netflix asked Blockbuster to buy their company, but Blockbuster rejected them. So, when Netflix got really big and surpassed Blockbuster in mail orders, people stopped getting movies from Blockbuster. Blockbuster tried to combat this by having cheaper prices, a mail-in order system, and no late fees. But it wasn't enough to overtake Netflix, causing Blockbuster to lose 95% of their stores. And Dish Network buying the rest of their stores. Today, there's only one Blockbuster left. In Bend, Oregon. There are multiple Blockbuster stores abandoned all over the country. Some of these vacancy stores have new businesses that have moved in throughout the years, but in many cases have not, leading to many stores to show what was once there. So Blockbuster failed because of their ego, and if they were bought out by Netflix, they would probably still be around today. Besides, why go rent a movie from a Blockbuster when you could just go straight to streaming and watch whatever you want? Now, I'm sure before this video you've heard of Blockbuster, as it is still a pop culture icon that is still remembered to this day. But what about a business that was popular in its day but hasn't been talked about in recent years? Well, my next topic is about two stores related to one another, Sears and Kmart, both stores being some of the biggest discount stores in North America. Sears was founded by Richard Warren Sears in 1886 as a mail-in order service. It became a catalog in 1893, becoming very popular during the holiday season. In 1925, the company decided to start their first brick-and-mortar store. This is where Sears got huge, as it targeted lower-class families with cheap prices and cleaned, organized stores. This caused Sears to become the largest retail store in America, being located in every mall you went to. Heck, the world's tallest building at the time was formerly known as the Sears Building, showing just how big they used to be. However, their empire didn't last. In 1990, Walmart surpassed Sears as the largest retailer, and this is when Sears fell. Due to not being able to keep up with the times, it started to lose business. Now for a similar tale. Kmart was founded by salesman S.S. Kreger, who saw how big 5 and dime stores were. In 1899, Kreger opened his first store known as, well, can you guess? I'll give you a second. It was called Kreger. Back in the day, many department stores were named after their founders. Kreger's became very popular over the years. However, with many families moving out of the cities and into suburbs, many discount stores quickly followed, and this caused Kreger's to open a smaller sister chain of stores in suburban areas. So, on March 1st, 1962, in Garden City, Michigan, the very first Kmart opened its doors. So, after Kmart became an overnight success and became the second biggest retailer in the United States, right behind Sears, it was so big that the company decided to sell all their Kreger's stores to another retail store company known as McCrory. Kmart became successful because it was a one-stop shop for everything. It wasn't just a department store. In some places, they even had a cafe, a dentist office, there was something called a big Kmart, Super Kmart. which is similar to what a modern-day Walmart is like. There was a Kmart food store, a Kmart gas station known as Kmart Express, with a funny commercial.
Ugh, I hate these big-ass prices.
Sounds like you could use some big-ass savings.
I'd love some big-ass savings.
Kmart Shop Your Way members save 30 cents a gallon.
30 cents a gallon? That's a big-ass discount.
Big-ass discount.
A really big-ass discount.
Really big-ass discount.
Honey, this solves your big-ass problem.
Totally solves my big-ass problem.
Dad, look at that big-ass truck.
Big-ass man.
Hello, big-ass man.
Shop Your Way members get big-ass savings. Save 30 cents a gallon when you spend $50 or more at Kmart.
A fast food restaurant known as Kmart Chef. I mean, the list goes on and on. One of their biggest marketing gimmicks they're known for today is the blue lights deal, which is when some employee at Kmart would get on the speaker and say, "Attention all Kmart shoppers, this item is now on sale." So basically any item would go on sale at any moment, causing people to stay in the store longer, hoping to get a good item for cheap. This all sounds good to be true. So what happened? Well, stores like Walmart and Target decided to start modernizing their stores, with Kmart deciding not to modernize. This caused Kmart to go in a somewhat downward spiral. In 2002, the company went bankrupt, and in 2003 was bought out by an old rival, Sears. See? I told you they were related! With this joint venture, Kmart bounced back a little bit, but it was short-lived. Sears was failing themselves, and in 2017 filed for bankruptcy. This caused Kmart to go down with them, causing Kmart to now have only 9 stores in the world, with 3 in the United States. 1 in Miami, 1 in Bridgehampton, New York, and 1 in Westwood, New Jersey. And I just so happened to be traveling in that area, so I made a little pit stop to one of the last remaining Kmarts in the world. Inside, as you can see, it is very depressing, and it shows you that Kmart really stayed in the past. This location opened up in 1982, and it feels like I've been transported back 40 years ago. Sadly, I don't think there's any hope for Kmart and Sears, as they'll probably close all their doors one of these days. Who knows? Maybe someone will buy the last few Sears and Kmarts and remodel them. But for now, Sears Holding is dead, and some private owner bought all of the stores, so I don't see anything happening with them. All I see now are 2 slowly dying brands that are on life support. So far, we've only talked about specific brand name stores, but what about entire buildings being abandoned, once being an American icon? One place I like to look at is the mall. With the rise of suburbs, market squares and plazas began to open up shops in town. But then, someone had an idea. What if we take the structures of a place, but enclosed? And you have to walk around to get to your next destination. The first enclosed mall in the US was in Southdale Center in Edna, Minnesota in late 1956. This caused a large economic boom in the US, with thousands of malls being built all over the world. The mall became a staple of American culture. You could basically find anything that you needed. Even some of these stores like Sears used to call malls their home. However, with the rise of online shopping, such as Amazon and eBay, there was less and less reason to go to the malls, causing hundreds, if not thousands of malls to go out of business. One of the biggest and well-known malls was located in Ackroyd, Ohio, Rolling Acres Mall. At its peak, it contained 150 stores and 5 anchor tenants. The mall opened in 1975 and continued to expand way into the late 80s. However, things started to get really scary for this location when the mall decided it was better to hire security guards who would work for cheap instead of off-duty police officers. This mistake would ultimately lead to disaster. When 2 movie customers were fighting outside of the cinema, this knocked over a metal sign. The flood was so loud that it was mistaken for the sounds of gunshots, causing people to flee the mall, though people did later realize it was a false alarm. However, the theater became unprofitable around that time, and the owners decided to close the cinema in 1993. Later, the mall decided to reopen the theater as a discount theater. This would attract delinquents and other sketchy people to the mall. This caused the mall to get a bad reputation. The mall would go under new ownership in 2000 to Bankers Trust of New York, who tried to save the mall, but was then sold to a businessman who basically did nothing to save the dying mall. By 2006, the mall had gotten even worse, with stores such as Target, Dillard's, and a whole bunch more that would close due to poor sales. There was a moment where a homeless man was living in the mall and stealing money from these stores. If things look bad now, things really got ugly. In 2008, with Macy's, the theater, and everyone else leaving the mall, the place only had 8 stores left. In October 2008, the stores were notified that the mall could not pay its electricity bill and would close as soon as possible. And on October 31st, 2008, the mall opened its doors for the final time and was left abandoned. Sears would close in 2010, and JCPenney's would close in 2013, leaving only a storage center where the Target used to stand. The former mall became a local place of theft and crime. However, things changed when Amazon bought the property in 2019 and converted it into an Amazon warehouse 1 year later. It's kind of apropos, since it was the next generation of business taking over what was once theirs. Though, Rolling Acres clearly had problems even before Amazon was in the picture. But look around! A lot of malls are closing their doors due to the amount of people shopping online, and this was way before COVID. Heck, between 2006 and 2020, not a single mall was built, and the last one was stuck in development hell for over 24 years. While things are meant to go away, they are not forgotten. The mall will still be remembered by the people who got to experience it. And I hope the idea for the mall will return one of these days. And that's all I wanted to talk about today. Honestly, there's so many failing businesses as of right now that I wouldn't mind doing a follow-up. I mean, if you like what you saw here, there are other YouTube channels such as This Is Dan Bell, Bright Sun Films, and The Company Man that I all recommend for you. But tell me what you think in the comments below. Anyways, well, my name is Liam. You've just been watching the LMC channel. Remember to do that thing that every other YouTuber tells you to do, and I'll see you guys next time.